Hello and welcome. I want to thank you for taking the time to visit my channel. My name is Tony. I want to give you a little background on who I am and what I do and what I'm about. First of all, I've got almost 35 years owning and managing real estate properties. Also, almost 35 years in the stocks industry, primarily now options. Um, basically, the way that I operate is, for example, with stocks, I like to connect the dots. We'll be covering some stocks on this channel. We'll be covering some cryptos as well as pertinent news. I say that because I've noticed a lot of times that common sense is an oxymoron. It's not really that common. So I feel compelled to bring the messages out there with the wisdom that I like to think that I have. And hopefully you folks will appreciate that and get a flavor for that. I originally started this because back about 2.5, 3 years ago, I was on a particular YouTube channel. Had a gentleman had quite a big following, and I got to talking with him and text and whatnot. And then pretty soon he realized I was a pretty smart guy. So then he shot some audios with me, probably totaling about 5 hours. I'd certainly like to get a hold of them, but I'll probably dig into my notes and probably put some other videos together regarding that content in the near future. So anyway, he brought me on, and then he was going to have me do the trading for the group and whatnot. And at the end of the day, false promises. He didn't do what he said, and things just got weird. And usually, when things get weird, when it comes time to put up or shut up, usually at the put up phase, it kind of tells you what's really going on because it doesn't make any sense. And if it doesn't make any sense, then by definition, it is in fact nonsense. That being said, that was my start into this. And then a couple who I believe are the smartest people in that room realized that I was getting fed up and going to leave. So they talked to me and they asked me about this. So we decided impromptu where they were going to be my administrators, and we started a new Telegram room and channel. That went pretty well, but I noticed that a lot of the folks didn't want to pay for the information, which I can appreciate. So I developed a decent following. I've been doing that Telegram now with a chat room and a paid trading room probably for, I believe, we'll be coming up on 2 years at the beginning of February. That being said, I've been frustrated for about a year and a half because people didn't want to pay for the information. So I want to apologize now for the folks that I was frustrated with and having the atmosphere of frustration because I realized that I should have done this a couple of years ago. So as I think, better late than never, right? So I want to apologize ahead of time for those folks, and you guys know who you are when you're coming in from the Telegram room and chats and the paid room as well. Also, it'd be helpful if a lot of the folks in that room, some people that have benefited financially and otherwise off of the trade room data, would be very helpful in the comments so that other folks can understand how pertinent this information that I have tends to be. So I appreciate that, and I want to tell you guys this is actually meant for entertainment purposes and educational purposes, excuse me. So just an example of some of the things I've done. Back in early November, I commented in my chat room, or in my trade room, excuse me, that Bitcoin was developing a nice little tight triangle, and that we would probably be busting up or down, but most likely would be the upward move. So that was when it was around 10,000. And I started giving the higher targets as it rise and rise and rise. And of course, I literally just commented yesterday morning, today being the 27th, which is a Sunday. So I believe it was Friday. I commented that 25 was coming and that 26, 28,000 was probably the next targets. And of course, we hit 28,200 and I believe 24 literally this morning. So that just gives an example of how timely some of the information is. When it comes to stocks, many stocks I've doubled. I can always tell you what's going to happen. As to exactly when it occurs, that's the challenge. That's where we use technicals, fundamentals, and even some common sense. So these are the kind of things that I'll be bringing to you that I hope that and like to think that would be of value to folks out there. But the best part is the folks will be able to come here and get the information for free and not have to pay it in the paid trade room. So I'm happy to be able to present that to you as well. I will say that for right now, I'm working on the video editing, and I hope to improve that in the near future. And of course, if there's anybody who has any suggestions or help, certainly would be greatly welcome and appreciated. So that being said, let's see if there's anything else I'm going to cover. What I like to do, and that's true with the news as well as stocks or whatever, if I'm looking at a stock and I see one dot, I like to connect the dots. So if I see one particular dot that says something, that's could be anything. But then when I have a second dot that says the same thing, and a third piece of information, and a fourth and a fifth, and pretty soon you find 10 or 15 pieces of information that are saying the same thing. That makes it quite likely that that's probably what the outcome is going to be when it comes to stocks and their fundamentals, technicals, these kind of things. So that's the kind of thing that I'll be bringing to the room, both with cryptos as well as stocks. And of course, I invite any comments as well as whatever you need me to do. If you want me to look at a particular cryptocurrency, look at its supports, its resistances, that kind of thing. Certainly in the comments, I feel free to do so. That's what they do in the chat and trade room. I'll be glad to do the same thing here. That's really what I'm here for. So I'm also going to do that with the stocks. If there are some stocks that you want to maybe a report on or information about it, just give me a holler in the comments. Please let me know. Okay. So with that in mind, I want to, I think that pretty much covers mostly what we're going to be accomplishing. Some of the stocks, by the way, that have doubled recently that I called Myrna 175. I believe we got it in the $70, $80 area. Novavax, that was probably around 67. I grabbed that at, and of course into I guess 130 thereabout. So these are the kind of things that have happened in the last couple of months. I'll be doing a report on a nice little known company out there that I think really is going to be a leader and a much more important than these Moderna and these Pfizer vaccines that they're talking about now. I'll go into details about that in a new video, but that will be coming as well. So I want to thank you for taking the time, guys, again, to come here. I've tried to give you an idea of the content that we'll be covering, and I just want to remind you, please, I thank you for coming, but as you know, we get paid for views, so I please ask you to like, share, and subscribe all the videos as much as you can. Thank you again, and I'm looking forward to this venture, and I hope we can develop a nice little community, just like we've done in the Telegram rooms. I'd like to do it here, but we're going to have a much larger reach. So thank you again for taking the time to visit the channel, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Thank you so much. Have a good day.